Welcome to Can We Talk? I'm Derek.
AKA Mr. Right, and I'm Sonia.
AKA Mrs. Always Right, and they should put like always, always, always all around the cup and inside the cup.
So our daughter gave us this cup, Sion. She gave us these mugs for Christmas because she kind of witnessed that I usually am always right.
I don't know, usually. Usually it's not on there, it just says always right.
So welcome to our very first YouTube vlog called Can We Talk? We are at home in our backyard on our deck, and guess what night it is? It is Valentine's night. This is actually 23 years since Derek proposed to me, and we thought, how wonderful, what an appropriate night to start our new adventure.
Can I tell the story real quick? 10 seconds. So we're in D.C., and
I picked you up from work.
She picked me up from work.
Because his car was broken down.
And we were driving home. It was about 12:30 at night, 12:30 in the morning. And we stopped at a payphone on New York Avenue and Florida Avenue.
Because we didn't have
DC.
cell phones.
We didn't have cell phones.
Mercy.
And I went to the payphone and I got my 25 cents and I put it into the payphone and I called her dad and I said, I'm going to ask your daughter to marry me. And he says, please.
You said, do I have your blessing?
Yes. Did I say that?
Yes.
Yes. And he did. I did say that, and he says yes. And so that was the night.
That was the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah, and so here we are.
So thank you for watching. This is exciting because we are actually going to get an opportunity to interact with you about marriage and anything related. We named the vlog Can We Talk? Because after 22 years of marriage, actually we're 22 years married, we have 4 children. Our first daughter is from Derek's previous marriage. Danielle was 8 when we met. She is now in her 30s, a mother of 2 and a wife. And we have a 19-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old daughter, and a 9-year-old son, and a dog named Oliver, who you might meet in one of these episodes.
Absolutely not.
I'm the dog lover.
Absolutely not.
Derek tolerates him, but he loves Derek better. I don't know what that's about, but we'll get to that another episode. And so we named the vlog Can We Talk? Because after 22 years of marriage, we realized that when we hit bumps in our marriage and there were communication gaps and we couldn't talk or break the ice, we found that actually saying, can we talk, broke the ice and opened up the communication doorways again. And so we thought, how fitting to name our vlog Can We Talk, so that we could actually help someone out there watching to actually break the ice and find new ways to communicate and resolve conflict with their spouse.
Right. So the first vlog, we had a few questions that came in, but we really wanted to talk about something that's really on our heart to kind of get this started. And so I'm going to make a statement that's going to probably surprise you. And usually when we do make this statement, people are looking at us like, you're not in our business. How do you know us? And so the statement is this: Sonia and I should not have gotten married at that time. And I say that because most couples should not have gotten married at that time. We got married in a place where I was still trying to figure myself out as a man, and Sonia was trying to figure herself out as a woman, and we loved each other, and the stars were aligned, and God rained His blessings down on us, but we made decisions leading up to the marriage, preparing for the wedding. But we really didn't make decisions about who we are and where we were coming from.
Or preparing for the marriage.
Or preparing for the marriage.
We prepared for the wedding, all right.
Right.
But we didn't prepare for the marriage, and 6 weeks of marriage counseling didn't really do it.
Right. And so most people, we're not saying that you should have never gotten married. And some people should not have gotten married. That's the reality of it. But we could have waited 8 months.
Or a year.
Or a year to prepare ourselves. So we start out with that statement because it brings back reality to where we are, and then going back to say, okay, and just agreeing, you know what, babe, We could have waited. We should have waited a year. And the reason why, because I wasn't financially prepared. My credit score was probably 300. You had an 850 credit score.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was. I mean, but we weren't ready, and
we weren't ready
prepared.
on so many levels, not just financially, emotionally, and spiritually. We didn't know our roles.
Oh man.
You know, we just didn't know. There was so much that we didn't know.
Right. Who taught you how to be a wife?
I watched it from my parents, but honestly, I don't know that they even knew to teach me that.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people get married and they haven't figured it out. They just love each other. And the concept and the commitment of love in that generation kept them together and keeps them together. They've been married 53 years to this day. This generation, it's almost like they don't know what that kind of commitment looks like. So it can't glue them together. Our mission and our ministry has been to teach that before people say, I do. So that when they get married, they are prepared and not make some of the mistakes that we made.
Right. So one of the things we were talking about as we were preparing for this particular vlog, there were questions that came in, but we felt the importance of talking about what is in the mind of a man and what is in the heart of a woman. What is in the mind of
a husband
and what is in the heart of the wife. And that's a statement that I think we need to discuss and for you to think about, because sometimes we don't think about it. And I often hear the statement that, well, what's on a man's mind is sex.
Right.
And absolutely, that's on our mind.
But that does not define a husband.
That doesn't define us.
Right.
And I think sometimes men hide behind that because there's a core, the center in our brain, there's a core of what's really on our mind, what's in our mind. I think it's important for you to know what's in my mind.
Right.
And what's in my mind is insecurities, the need for approval, the need for attention, fear. As an African American man, I wake up under constant suspicion, and so there's that fear. Not like I'm afraid to go out, but I'm always thinking about that. What's on my mind? Whether I can provide for my family, my children. What's on my mind? Dealing with whether I'm unemployed or underemployed or trying to get a job, and I come home and I'm afraid because I'm scared. That's what's on my mind. And so the challenge for men is that even though we have a lot on our mind, it's hard for us to emote those things because we weren't taught how to take what we're thinking about and what's on our mind and express it through emotions.
And not only were they not taught, but when we meaning wives, discover that our husbands have dropped that ball because they have those fears, even if they dare tell us that, most of the time we don't make it safe.
Absolutely not.
Most of the time we don't make it safe. So moving to the heart of the wife, I didn't make it safe because I didn't understand the mind of my husband. And so I thought he was coming out the gate as my Prince Charming. You know, good-looking man, smart, intelligent,
yes,
well-traveled, Marine,
absolutely,
strong, not afraid of anything physical. But emotionally, there were so many fears. And I sabotaged his manhood because I wanted my Prince Charming then and now. And here's what God told me, probably in year 2 or 3. Well, if he came with it all together, what the heck? He didn't say that. I said that in my head. What does he need you for? You're the helpmate. If he came all together, why does he need a helper? And I said, man, I never thought of that. Because what we all will agree is that the wife is the helper. Everyone that's Bible believing knows that God created man and he created the helper, and that was Eve, and he needed to find someone suitable for him. And here comes the woman out of the rib of the man. We all know that. But then we don't really understand the depth of the helper. So in my attempt to express my frustration about Derek not knowing my heart, I sabotaged not only his mind, but his spirit. And so we had to learn how to recover and heal from that season. So what's in the heart of the wife? What's in the heart of the woman? The heart of the wife is harmony. We want to stay in connection with our husbands. We want our husbands to know how to love us, to know why we love the way we love, and to know who we are in the way that we love. And if he can understand those three things in our heart, then we feel safe and we feel secure. But so many of us don't communicate that to our husbands. And we were made by God to actually have hormones to cause us to feel that way.
Here's a challenge. You said so many women don't communicate that, but what about the ones who do? The women who communicate that is the men who don't know what to do with what you said.
Right.
We don't know what to do with the harmony. We don't know what to do with that thing that you're talking about, because our minds have been so messed up. We're like the deer looking in the headlights, and all we hear is like Charlie Brown, wah 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 wah. And so the challenge for the heart and the mind to become connected is to go back and figure out. I have to figure out what's in my mind, and get a sifter and start sifting that thing, so my mind can be clear, so I can see the heart. Because if I see the heart of my wife, I can probably see that there may have been some hurts, and a lot of husbands they know the story. They know that their wife may have been abused or they've been mistreated in a previous relationship, but understanding what to do with that. A lot of men don't understand what to do with a woman who comes with a broken heart.
Right. And for the wives who come with a broken heart, and you haven't been able to communicate that to your husband, we always say it's okay to get heart surgery. And that just means taking time to heal. Finding a great counselor or a spiritual confidant, someone that you feel safe sharing some of those traumas with, and really allowing your heart to heal. But you've got to let your husband know that your heart is healing. And while you were in your brokenness, you may have compromised his masculinity, and make apologies and amends for that. So I didn't have a broken heart. I just had high expectations of what my knight in shining armor was going to look like, not recognizing that he was still trying to figure his manhood out, and all those things in his mind he couldn't communicate to me to interpret how to help him. And so we had to learn that the hard way.
First 3 years of our marriage, it was close to going down to the courthouse and filing for petitions, separation orders. It was destruction of property. It was profanity, just cursing like just no other, just potty mouth, just words that I didn't understand. That pretty woman can curse like. So we were in the battle of a heart that was deceived. In a mind that wasn't strong. And I guess the question is, now I'll ask the first question, how does a married couple deal with the heart and the mind and understanding that?
You have to be honest and say that you didn't know first. Like,
I didn't know.
Many of you watching, you need to say, you know what, I didn't know. And there's a famous phrase that Derek and I like to use when we hit a bump. After we've said, can we talk? We say, can we have a do-over? And so there's an opportunity to do over some of the things that you may not have gotten right in the relationship initially. Now it's, can we do over? Tell me what your fears are. Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what you think about as a husband. Tell me what your expectations are of me as a wife, and vice versa as it relates to the heart of the wife.
Give an example of a do-over. You were talking about, Sonia was talking about a do-over in regards to our past and saying let's have a do-over and go back and just start like if we're just getting married. Is that what you're referring to, right?
Or but it includes. I may go get counseling. I may need.
Right.
We may need a pastoral to pray over us.
Right.
Something.
Right. And I was referring to, and this is we're jumping the gun, but conflict when you get into a fight, a do-over.
Right.
So I didn't want to jump the gun on that, but having a do-over means that it's okay that we're going to start over, whatever it is, whether it's an immediate issue or whether it's going back and acknowledging that, yeah, we came out the gates backwards, and let's start over and say, okay, let's sit down, because the thing about it is that no one else is in your home. It's just you and your spouse, and there's no audience, there's no social media. I hope you didn't got social media, and we do it right now, but it's just you and your spouse, and to say, look, yeah, I was afraid when I got married, and I needed some attention. I loved you, but I was still hurting from a past experience, and I got married in haste to see if this is going to be my Band-Aid, or not even just my Band-Aid, but that's going to be my healing. And marriage doesn't do that. But it's okay to go back and say, let's have a do-over.
Right. So if there are any questions that you have about tonight's content, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Derek's going to tell you a little bit more about how to do that, but we want to hear from you. We want to talk more about it, and any other topics that may come across your mind that may be present and relative to your marriage right now. Or if you're single, anything that you may be wondering about as you prepare to get married.
When we say any topic, we're saying any topic. Any topic. We can create a topic. We can come on and say, this is what we're going to talk about tonight. And we can, because we got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot.
But we want to hear questions, because we realize that your questions are probably the question that someone else has, and they don't have a venue or forum to ask that question.
Right.
So use this forum. So you're going to see a subscribe button pop up in a second. So hit the subscribe button, and also you can send your questions to the replies in the YouTube channel. You can also go on the website, marriagemenders.org. You can go on our Facebook page, Marriage Menders, Instagram, The Marriage Menders, and Twitter, all of it, social media. Send your questions to us. You can either text us as well. You'll find that information on the website and the YouTube as well. So it's confidential. If you choose not to want your name to be shared, you can just put John Doe or whatever name you want to put that's confidential.
Or just your first name, and say you'd rather it be confidential.
Yeah. So, but we do want to answer as many questions as we can, because we want to help, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So we thank you for taking the time to be a part of our lives. This is the first one, so get ready, because we're going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
So
thank you for watching. You now understand the most important thing to know about your husband is his mind. The most important thing to know about your wife is her heart. So now that you know, what you going to do with it?
What you going to do with it?
What you going to do with it? Until next time, take care of yourselves.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, I got to clock in.
What time was it?
12:02.
Okay. I was going to say it's hard to talk to a camera because we don't see the faces.
I know.
And I hope that we can see the faces through a spiritual sense, to say that someone is really saying, okay.
I felt like I did, though. I felt like when I was talking that I could visualize a wife watching me, even though there's no one. It's like I almost visualize people at work and people at home, and people on their way home, and people in the gym, literally listening to what we're saying.
I hope so, because this week has been a busy week with couples and just quitting, quitting and quitting because it's the lack of knowledge.
Right.
It's the lack of understanding, but what happens is that hurt on top of hurt on top of the pain.
Right.
There's no sunlight. There's no light saying, okay, there is a way.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
No light. So hopefully this is a light. So. All right. Good job.